We are back with Joni Ellis. Joni, good afternoon and welcome to CWS as it is.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm fine.
Tell us a bit about yourself and what what was your decision to get into business?
Well, I actually went to school for business, right? But I had a lot of good jobs in sales, industry, stuff like that. And I found that overall, I was the person that my friends relied on. Like, for instance, if they needed to find a helper, if they needed to move apartments, kind of situation. So I kind of became known as the person with plan A, B, and C. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
I just decided that it was just a natural route for me to go. There was kind of nothing else for me to do but provide services.
So when you first started, what was your friends? What were your friends' reaction?
Well, they were like, "Oh yes, it's really nice and that's cute." You know what I mean? Because everybody had a 9 to 5 and I still had a job, so I don't think a lot of people really took it seriously. Like they didn't see it as something I was gonna quit my job and do full time because I had a really good paying job kind of situation.
Uh huh.
But I just had to go with it. They were supportive, and initially they were the ones who recommended me to persons, and even more so now that my name is out there.
And your parents, what was their reaction?
Well, my mom has always been supportive. My dad lives abroad, but I would say mommy has been our backbone because she has 3 daughters and she put all 3 of us through university kind of situation. So in our family, it has always been like the sky is the limit. And when I'm stressed out and I'm feeling like I'm gonna give up, she's always, encouraging, and she has little things that she says. The race is not for the swift, but who endures to the end. Those little things
Yes.
that's helping from day to day.
So describe describe Little Helpers services for us and what exactly you do.
Well, Little Help Us Services is a premier cleaning company. So what we do is we provide cleaning on a more personal level. For instance, if you needed somebody to come in for the day and clean your house, then we can provide that service. If
Mhm.
you have built an apartment and you want post-construction cleaning, or you're just moving from one place to the next, we can clean the place that you're moving out of and clean the place that you're moving into. We can help you to pack, organize, cook, wash, clean, all of that. And the benefit of using our service is that our workers are trained and they go to numerous clients on various days, so they have the stamina to handle the work, they have the experience to handle the work, and you don't have to really worry about just employing somebody yourself kind of situation, because you never really know who you're letting into the
Mhm.
house, so it's kind of safe at a cleaning service.
So having a good team is critical to the survival and the success of your business.
It's the most important part, because you go out and you market and you tell persons, "Oh, I can do this service, I can do this for you, that for you," and on the day a worker does not show up, people work usually from Monday to Friday, so if they clear a day in their schedule to accommodate us to come in and clean their homes and we don't show up, then it's really a bad impression. So yes, our team and staffing is very important and is one of the main things that we struggle with.
What what are three things you look for in an employee?
Dedication, the willingness to go the extra mile, and honesty. Is when you have an honest employee, you are able to plan, strategize, because you know that when things are going wrong, that employee is going to be honest with you as to where they stand, so you can actually organize for your clients and organize for your company. Dedication, that when you wake up and it's raining outside, this employee is going to get up and go to work. Their job is important to them kind of situation. So you have to look out for these things when you're trying to employ persons, because not only am I employing them to myself, I'm going to go to my client now and say to them, "I have people that you can use," right? So the standard has to be very high.
Mhm. Mhm. So here you are, young, employing people. How long have you been in business?
I would say roughly 3.5 years. I mean, taking it seriously kind of situation. I've been on interviews, giving cleaning tips. We've worked for like a few major companies here, and we also have cleaning janitorial contracts. So it's growing, it's getting there. Getting people to buy into the concept of having somebody come and clean the whole homes from a service has been the hardest part.
Hmm. And why do you think people eventually hire you?
Reliability,
Hmm.
right? And the fact that our staff is, as I said, trained and experienced, right? So if you took a day off to have your house cleaned today or your apartment cleaned, whatever it is, you don't have to stay there and supervise the person that is within your home, kind of thing. You can rest assured that we'll get the task done.
And apart from the money, why do you believe your employees enjoy working with you?
One of the things is that in this industry, especially as a maid or a helper or even a janitor, a lot of employees feel looked down on. They feel like they're not appreciated, because of the type of work that they do. The main thing that I try to give my employees is respect. I said to them, it doesn't matter what you do to earn money, kind of situation, as long as it's honest and it's a respectable job.
Hmm.
Everybody deserves respect. And even in our company, we have developed a culture where everybody is miss, right? It's whether it's first name or last name kind of situation, but it's to give an air of respect. So when we go out there and speak to our clients, we're never inclined to call them by their first names only kind of situation. So it's a culture of respect that we try to cultivate here at Little Help Out
So
Services.
so how did you come up with this? Why did you decide that this was very important?
Well, as I said, I was always the go-to persons in my circle of friends. And I remember one day somebody said to me, nobody can iron some clothes for me. And I said, well, and at the time I had a helper that I was using from a friend of mine. So I called her up and I said to her, how much you come to my house to iron some clothes? And she said, $1,500. So I called back the man and I said to him, how many pieces of clothes you have? And I said, okay, $3,000. And he said, really? That's very affordable. And he just came to my house, ironed his $300. And I was like, this makes sense.
So you're
And it's just coincidence there.
so I see another slogan for your business. It makes sense. It
Yes, call us about service. It makes sense.
it makes sense. Why should I hire Little Helper Services? Because it makes sense. I like that. I like that. How did you come up with the name?
Well, I went through one name before, which was Master Cleaners, but I thought it didn't encompass everything that I wanted my business to be, right? With being able to go into people's homes and clean for them, do their laundry, their cooking, people have started to ask us for nanny services, which is a direction we've expanded to. So I didn't want a name that would just say cleaning, because then people wouldn't consider us for other things. Just the
Ah,
other day,
that is smart.
we were the host at,
Sorry, go
yeah, go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I was saying that is very smart actually. What are your immediate plans for your company?
Well, I'm looking at various directions, right? Right now, we're focusing a lot on household and janitorial work, right? Because that's where you can actually expand and make some money, especially in the janitorial area. There's also the possibility, because I have a list of areas that we could get into. There's also the possibility of a chemical business in terms of cleaning agents and all of that, because we use it at our location, right? With our nanny services, we've been looking into maybe opening a daycare. So there are all these avenues, but the important thing is to make sure that we have a plan for Little Help Our Services and how we're going to expand.
Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting. Um, what is the most challenging project you've had to date? Without getting into names and so on, but a particular project you had that made you made you rethink the industry you're in.
It wasn't one particular project, it was an area of our business that we were in. We were providing living helpers and nannies kind of situation, and we realized that our clients expected us to take personal responsibility for the persons that we provide to them. Now, while we can do the background checks and all of that, we cannot guarantee somebody's personality or human behavior.
Right.
right? So it was an area of our business that is very challenging. We still do it, but we try to explain to persons that there's no way we can predict how this worker is going to work, but we can go back in their history and probably make a prediction that, of an expectation then, but it's not a guarantee. So that's been the hardest part.
Who does the buck stop with?
Repeat that?
Who does the buck stop with? Who makes the final decisions and everything?
Well, that's me. And it can be a little hard because at the end of the day, if you're the only one making decisions, then there's nobody to blame when there's a hiccup, right? So you have to take full responsibility for what happens and where it goes.
How would you say you have changed as a business owner over the past 3 years?
Wow. That question is such a loaded question. Like, I've had to learn patience.
Patience?
I've had to learn patience. Yes. Patience is a very important thing in business, It can never be your first reaction to a situation. You understand? Even though you have to react quickly, but it must be an informed decision. It cannot be something that is emotionally driven. It has to be what is best for your business, your employees, and your situation. So that's what my business had taught me overall kind of situation. Just to be patient, to plan, to have things lined up in a row, And
patience.
Yes, you need a foundation. Yes.
How do you determine if a project is right for Little Helper Services?
Well, at the moment in the industry that we're in, you can't really pick and choose. We don't really pick and choose in terms of our project. There are certain projects that we cannot do clearly because we don't remove like storm shutters and stuff like that kind of situation. But a project is good for us once it involves cleaning and needs cleaning expertise. If it involves working with children, with a nanny services, once you need to do some sort of staffing within your home or your office as it relates to help, as it relates to cleaning and children and care services, then that's what we're into.
So here's a business owner or a construction company who just built several homes or a building and has some cleaning stuff to do. What can they expect from Little Helper Services in terms of, moving away, getting rid of certain type of debris and cleaning?
Well, what it is that we are equipped to remove, because construction it's very fine, right? So
Yes.
we're equipped with the staff that is needed to actually do the numerous wipes that's required to get this stuff out. Also, we have the equipment such as the wet dry vacuum, the corner sweepers, the window cleaners kind of situation. We have the chemicals. So we have everything that you would need to get your building, your apartment moving ready. When we leave, the family can come in tomorrow. Your workers can come in tomorrow. That is what we guarantee.
How challenging is it for you to get resources?
Resources as it relates to chemicals.
Yes, resources as it relates. Well, you're a young business. You started 3.5 years ago. Obviously, you're successful. But well, let me rephrase the question. Let me do it this way. What were some of your challenges when, like, the first year of business? And do you still have those challenges?
Getting people to buy into the service is a challenge because we're not a nation of trusting people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like when Jamaicans hear that people are being scammed, they're like, what? Why would I send $50,000 to collect $1 million? And that is the stance that a lot of Jamaicans take, that we are of the impression that maybe it's a scam, so it's kind of hard. So I've had to advertise in mainstream in order to get recognition, and it's still a challenge today.
So how do you convince your clients or your potential clients that they should hire you?
Well, referrals are always good, and we have some very good referrals, right? Also, it's the way that you present yourself, because when you have somebody calling your office phone and the answer is hello, good day, how may I help you, that's way more pleasant than you hear noise in the background and somebody say, yeah man, me I want help and me can come help you, you know. Professionalism is important. So you have to set yourself apart from everybody. You might be competing with them, but you have to be better.
What do you want people to come away when they hear the words Little Helpers Services?
The main thing I want people to think when they hear Little Helper Services would be reliability, right? I want us to be reliable in everything that we do. Get there on time, the work, even doing the work is us being reliable. You understand? So if you have a plan or a deadline for doing something and we are helping kind of situation, then we are reliable enough to get the job done. And I think once we have that done, then everything else is fine.
You're brilliant and sorry, you're a brilliant and enterprising young lady. Uh, Obviously, with your own business, what do you think? What do you think your success means to other young women who might be looking up to you?
I mean, it means a lot because even when I was on a TV show, The Innovators kind of situation, I'd go to halfway trip and the hairdressers along the corridors would come up to me and like they'd be like, "Oh, I know who you are, and you're so inspiring, and you're young," kind of situation. I mean, I'd just be walking around and people would be stopping me and saying how it's an inspiration just to see young people just reaching out and trying to do something outside of the box rather than saying, you know, there are no jobs and we can't find a job. You know, you have to do what you have to do. I've had to do people laundry. I've had to wash people clothes. You understand? My workers don't show up. I cannot call my clients and tell them that I'm bringing back your dirty clothes. What has to be done has to be done.
Mm-hmm. What still surprises you about being in? What still surprises you about yourself about after 3 years?
That I'm still going. That's the biggest surprise. I mean, I've been knocked down, I've been stomped on. Like sometimes it's so hard kind of situation because as a young person, not a lot. There's not, as you say, resources. There's not a lot of resources. I mean, it's getting better. You understand? But people are not trying to give you money. They're not trying to invest in you kind of situation. Because most businesses close and then make it worse, you're a young person.
Yes.
You know, so the odds are really stacked against you kind of situation.
But what
you know?
keeps
So the fact that I am still going,
yes.
I'm happy for it.
What keeps you going though, Joni?
You know, I have a friend and I encourage her to start her swimsuit line. And what I said to her is just think of it like a cliff. You see, once you make it to the edge and you jump off, you can't stop, you know, there's nowhere else to go. You cannot stay in the mid-air. Okay, that's not right.
That is good.
You understand? And I said it to her, I said, Camille, just jump off. I said, jump off and let it carry you. You understand? Carry you. And along the way, you'll see the plans forming and what you need to do to get done. But if you're sitting in one central spot and you're just looking how far away the goal is, you're never going to get there.
What do you believe is your team's most valuable asset?
My team's most valuable asset right now would probably, you know, it's funny to say, but it's actually a member on my team.
You're what?
I have, yes, it's a member on our team right now. And let me tell you, it's been a struggle to do staffing, but since I've gotten Miss Patricia, she has been like a foundation in my business. You know what I mean? She's like a go-to person, and she's also a helper in my service. You know, so it helps that the other persons that work for me can speak to her. She has a very calming spirit kind of situation, and it has brought unity to my team that I could not pay for.
How can people find your business?
Well, you can find us on Facebook, Little Helpers Services. You can visit our website, www.littlehelpers with an S, J-A for Jamaica, It's currently under construction. We're revamping the website to make it a little more interactive, trying to have persons pay online and stuff like that. You can follow us on Twitter at Little Helpers JA. Everything for us is Little Helpers with an S JA, so we're not hard to find. It's very important in business that you make yourself accessible to the clients and the people that you need to use in service. So having a lot of different, what you'd say, names and phrases does not really help in locating you as a business.
After being in business for a bit, why are you convinced that you're cut out to do this?
Well, I've been out of professional JA for such a long time. you know, I have to keep going. Like all the success that I've had so far, it's just motivation. Like to stop now and go back to where I was before, I would not fit in. I've learned too much. I know too much. You know what I mean? And this is knowledge and things that I can use to impact Jamaica, create jobs, help people. Why would I turn back now?
What is your deepest fear about doing business in Jamaica for young entrepreneurs?
That we won't really get the support that we deserve, the support that we need kind of situation, because fresh out of university, or even if you're not fresh out of university but you have a business idea, where do you go, who do you turn to kind of situation? So one of my biggest fears is that we are not being given a fair shot at being business owners, and if we don't invest in this now, when the older business start to evolve and close or die, then what's going to take its place? What's going to create the jobs that we so desperately need?
Where do you see Little Helpers services in 10 years?
In 10 years? In 10 years, we want to be bigger. I've thought about expanding throughout the Caribbean kind of situation. So in 10 years, I'm hoping to get that done. People are calling me as far as Turks and Caicos. People are calling me from Barbados. Oh, can you please get your service here kind of situation? So my eyes are on expanding throughout the Caribbean.
What can you see holding you back from venturing outside the shores of Jamaica? What can stop you?
Investments, it can be a real challenge, one kind of situation, and just overall the barriers to entry in setting up business in various locations. Even in the barriers to entry in setting up business and operating here in Jamaica can be a challenge, so that would be the main thing that we'd have to get over. Also, there's not a lot of information and statistics about my industry, right? So when I call the statistics places, they can't really give me any guidance as to where I need to focus on my business. So I've had to learn it while operating.
If you could go back in time to when you first started, what would you do differently?
What I would advise persons to do is I would have a different framework in terms of the operation of the financial side of my business, right? Because it's very important. Like, it's all good that you want to have a great service. It's all good that you want to have a great business, right? But is your business making money? Are you able to capture and show what this profit is or this loss is kind of situation? Because that really helps in convincing person that you're worth their time and investment. So I would have had information going back from when I originally started, which would have been a great foundation.
Have you ever felt like quitting, Joni?
Felt like?
Have you ever felt like quitting?
Yes, I do. I mean, when you set up a job and it's 5:30 in the morning and you can't find your worker that is supposed to turn up, and I look around and I'm thinking, I'm so qualified, like I could go back to my hundreds of thousands of dollars job, and here I'm at 5:30 somebody to go to work. You know what I mean? But then I look at it and I say, whether I'm doing this for myself or I'm doing it for a company, I would be doing it.
Yet you stay, right? And you persevere. Yes. And this is why you're so good at what you do. What is one word advice you will give to other young people when it comes to becoming an entrepreneur?
Have a plan.
Plan.
Like it's yes, have a plan, right? It's very hard for me because sometimes I go on Facebook and you go to a person's profile and you see they have on the profile CEO of freecollege.com and all these things, and I'm thinking there are so many people out there that take being a business owner and CEO of something so lightly. You understand that they will just attach the title to anything. You know
Yes.
what I mean? So
Mm.
you have to have a plan as to where your business is going and what it is that you're putting out there, kind of situation. Have a plan. Don't just get up and say, okay, I am Decor Plus, right? I run a business, Decor Plus. But really and truly, the only thing you might be doing, you understand, is that you might do one party here or one party there kind of situation. And there's no real plan to grow or expand your business. You're just a business owner right now.
What is most rewarding about being an entrepreneur?
When your clients, like I had a client send me a payment in an envelope, and on the envelope she wrote, your service is superb.
Your service is what?
You know? Superb.
Wow. Wow. Talking
Yes,
about
and I
that.
was like, and then the worker at work called me and she goes, oh, the lady was so happy, just stuff like that. It just feels good to know that, yes, you are being successful kind of situation. You're doing what you set out to do.
Talking about that. Tell us about that first paycheck. What were you present to? What was that like when you received that check for work that you have done? What was that like?
I was elated. Like, I remember thinking about it over the next few days, and I was like, where am I going to find more people like this? So that was the first thought. Like, where am I going to find more people like this kind of situation? So
How do you
that feeling cannot be explained.
how do you measure success?
Um, I would measure success if I'm able to create employment. I would consider myself successful because it's not just about me making money, you understand, but for the betterment of our citizens and being Jamaican kind of situation, creating jobs. So right now, my success is kind of measured by that. If I'm able to create work for my workers, because if my workers are working, I'm making money, so everybody's happy. Right? So that's really it. That's where my main focus is.
That
Get jobs, create work, situation.
that's very commendable. I asked this question of the last guest, and I'm going to try and I'm going to tweak it a certain way. Describe a Jamaica. If
Describe Jamaica.
no. This part of the question. Describe a Jamaica if a large population, a large group of young people would have the right set of resources, the right set of, and when I say resources, I mean financing, the right market penetration, as Doyen said before, and the right hand holding. Describe what a Jamaica would look like if a large population of young people, young entrepreneurs, were to receive the necessary resources that they need and become successful. What would that Jamaica look like?
I think it would be a happier Jamaica. More people would be employed. Definitely, you understand? Because right now the main thing, especially with my industry, is that everybody is jumping in because they think it's a cleaning job. So how hard can it be? Kind of situation. But if more young people had access to the resources that they needed to expand their business, then people wouldn't be settling for jobs. You understand? There would be jobs there that people could pick and choose and actually get into a job that is good for them, that them like, and maybe they'll turn up to work on time. Would be a more productive Jamaica. You understand? Would be a more respectful Jamaica because we wouldn't be as segregated into the haves and the haves not, because more people would have, right? So that's the Jamaica that we would have if more young people were allowed to prosper then as business owner or to excel as business owners. More job creation, a happier Jamaica, more spending power. Maybe our citizenship would be worth a lot more kind of situation if we became known as a hard-working nation that generates work for our citizens. Less people believe in.
How do you balance the demands of your job with time for family, friends, and leisure?
Wow, like Initially, I would just shut off from everybody and everything and just focus on my business. It has not been like that lately, or in the last couple of years. I have a daughter. She's 15 months, so I took almost a year off from being integrated completely into my business just to have that family experience. But now there's a living nanny kind of situation. I have to get back to work. I have to balance it. If my baby's up at 5:30, I'm up at 4 preparing for my job. So when my assistant gets in at 9, I know what she's supposed to do, kind of situation. So it is a hard balance, but it is something that you're going to do, because if you had a 9 to 5, you'd have to balance it anyways to go to that job.
How has motherhood changed you as a businesswoman?
It has, especially for the nanny part of my services and understanding human behavior, it has kind of opened up my expectations and understanding the limitations of people. It has also helped to foster, as I said, my patience, because when you're a go-getter and a trendsetter and you feel that you want to move forward, you tend to be very impatient with the people that are not moving in your direction. So having baby Caitlin has taught me, that everybody won't always be moving in your direction. Sometimes you have to, move in theirs a little bit, to make things move forward.
Joni, thank you so very much. Time was short,
Right.
but it was enjoyable. I really enjoyed it. What did you enjoy about the conversation, or what did you think about it rather?
That the questions that you asked allow me to express some views that I have, some things that I really do believe, there needs to be more job creation kind of situation. And just overall, there should be more people who are willing to, do programs that feature young entrepreneurs, because sometimes we feel like we're in this alone. And being able to see other person's story, other business stories, allows you to understand that you're not alone, and there's an end game, and as long as you have a plan, you can reach that end game.
Thank you, Joni. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Nyimiri nebe kasile